Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night wherever you are. Okay guys, in this particular video, I will be posting or I will be explaining to y'all the resume all materials from week 1 to 7. The course is Research in English Language Teaching. Here we go. The definition of research. Research is a process of formulating questions, problems, or hypotheses, collecting data or evidence relevant to these questions, problems, hypotheses, and analyzing or interpreting this data. The minimal definition of research is a systematic process of inquiry consisting of three elements or components. First, question, problem, hypothesis. Second, data. Third, analysis and interpretation of data. Research is a systematic attempt to provide answer to question based on Bruce W. Truckman. There are three important things to understand research. First, research is a problem-based process with the object of an empirical phenomenon. Second, the research process is carried out in a systematic, organized, controlled, and critical way. Third, the purpose of research is to provide information to answer a specific problem. There are several kinds of research based on problem characteristic. Okay, next. Research design based on the problem characteristic. So we have, for the first one, historical, to reconstruct the past objectively and accurately by collecting, evaluating, verifying, and synthesizing evidence to establish facts and reach a definitive conclusion, often in relation to particular hypotheses. For example, a study reconstructing practices in the teaching of spelling in the United States during the past 50 years. And then we have descriptive, to describe systematically a situation or area of interest factually and accurately. For example, a community survey to establish the needs for a vocational education program. Next, number 3, we have developmental, to investigate patterns and sequences of growth and or change as a function of the time. For example, a longitudinal growth study following an initial sample of 200 children from 6 months of age to adulthood. Number 4, we have case and field, to study intensively the background, current situation or status, and environmental interaction of a given social unit, an individual or group, institution or community. For example, an intensive study of the inner city, culture, and living conditions in a large metropolitan environment. Okay, next, number 5, we have correlational, to investigate the extent to which variation in one factor corresponds with variation in one or more other factors based on correlation coefficients. For example, a study investigating the relationship between grade point average as a criterion variable and a number of other variables of interest. Number 6, we have causal comparative, to investigate possible cause and effect relationships by observing some existing consequences and searching back through the data for plausible causal factors. Example, a study to identify factors related to the dropout problem in particular high school using data from records over the past 10 years. Then, a study to investigate similarities and differences between such groups as smokers and non-smokers, readers and non-readers. 7. We have true experimental, to investigate possible cause and effect relationship by exposing one or more experimental groups to one or more treatment condition and comparing the results for both of them. Example, a study to investigate the effectiveness of 3 methods of teaching reading to first grade children using random assignments. Then, a study to investigate the effect of a specific tranquilizing drug on the learning behavior of boys identified as hyperactive. Number 8, quasi-experimental, to investigate the condition of the true experiment in setting which does not allow the control and or manipulation of all relevant variables. For example, a study to investigate the effects of spaced versus maze practice in the memorizing of vocabulary lists in the 4 high school foreign language classes without being able to assign students to the treatment at random to supervise closely their practice. Finally, last but not least, number 9, we have classroom action. To develop new skills or new approaches and to solve problems with direct application to the classroom or other applied settings. For example, an in-service training program to help train counselors to work more effectively with minority group children. Here are benefits of research. Helps gain new knowledge. Get answers to a question. Provide solution to a problem. Organize and categorize something. Predict events or conditions to come. Explain the events or situation in the past. Find the cause of an event. Control an event. Develop a policy. Develop a development strategy. Here we are in qualitative and quantitative research. Let's do a battle or a versus. In qualitative, advocates use of qualitative methods, while in quantitative, advocates use of quantitative methods. In qualitative, concerned with understanding human behavior from the actor's own frame of reference, while in quantitative, seek facts or causes of social phenomena without regard to the subjective states of the individuals. In qualitative, naturalistic and uncontrolled observation, while in quantitative, obstructive and uncontrolled measurement. In qualitative, subjective. In quantitative, objective. In qualitative, close to the data, the insider perspective, while in quantitative, removed from the data, the outsider perspective. In qualitative, grounded, discovery-oriented, exploratory, expansionist, descriptive and inductive, while in quantitative, ungrounded, verification-oriented, confirmatory, reductionist, inferential and hypothetical deductive. In qualitative, process-oriented, while in quantitative, outcome-oriented. In qualitative, valid, real, rich and deep data, while in quantitative, reliable, hard and replicable data. In qualitative, assumed a dynamic reality. In quantitative, assumed a stable reality. After we have learned and we have understood about research, let's jump into what is educational research. Educational research is a type of systematic investigation that applies empirical methods to solving challenges in education. J.W. Bass defines educational research as the activity that is directed towards the development of a science of behavior in educational situations. The primary purpose of educational research is to expand the existing body of knowledge by providing solutions to different problems in pedagogy while improving teaching and learning practices. Next, the characteristics of educational research. Educational research sets out to solve a specific problems. Educational research adopts primary and secondary research methods in its data collection process. Educational research relies on empirical evidence. Educational research is objective and accurate because it measures verifiable information. In educational research, the researcher adopts specific methodologies, detailed procedures, and analysis to arrive at the most objective response. Educational research findings are useful in the development of principles and theories that provide better insights into pressing issues. This research approach combines structured, semi-structured, and unstructured questions to gather verifiable Data from respondents. Many educational research findings are documented for peer review before their presentation. Educational research is interdisciplinary in nature because it draws from different fields and studies complex factual relations. Types of educational research. A. Descriptive educational research. In this type of educational research, the researcher merely seeks to collect data with regards to the present situation of things. In descriptive educational research, the researcher makes use of quantitative research methods including surveys and questionnaires to gather the required data. For example, a reading program to help you understand student literacy levels. A study of students' classroom performance. Research to gather data on students' interests and preferences. B. Correlational educational research. This is a type of educational research that seeks insights into the statistical relationship between two research variables. In correlational research, the researcher studies two variables, intending to establish a connection between them. Correlational research can be positive, negative, or non-existent. In correlational education research, the research does not need to alter the natural environment of the variables, that is, there is no need for external conditioning. For example, research to discover the relationship between students' behaviors and classroom performance. A study into the relationship between students' social skills and their learning behaviors. C. Experimental educational research. Experimental educational research is a research approach that seeks to establish the causal relationship between two variables in the research environment. It adopts quantitative research methods in order to determine the cause and effect in terms of the research variables being studied. Experimental educational research typically involves two groups, the control group and the experimental group. The researcher introduces some changes to the experimental group, such as a change in an environment or a catalyst, while the control group is left in its natural state. For examples, a study to determine the best teaching and learning methods in a school. A study to understand how extracurricular activities affect the learning process. The importance of educational research. Educational research plays a crucial role in knowledge advancement across different fields of study. It provides answers to practical educational challenges using scientific methods. Findings from educational research, especially applied research, are instrumental in policy reformulation. For the researcher and the other parties involved in this research approach, educational research improves learning, knowledge, skills, and understanding. Educational research improves teaching and learning methods by empowering you with data to help you teach and lead more strategically and effectively. Educational research helps students apply their knowledge to practical situations. Alright guys, we finally have come to the very end of this presentation session, that is, closing statement. Now, I want you all look at this beautiful picture. Look and analyze, what does it mean? Okay, so here's my closing statement. Research and teaching cannot be separated because they belong together. Thank you very much for your attention. Thanks a lot for watching my videos. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and you can share with all your friends. I'm glad to see it. Okay, thank you so much. See you when I see you. Bye.